Before I start, I'd like to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rukakwadash, double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to 144,000 men that's pushing to believe in this word in all true sincerity and sacrificing lives and wills to do so. Shalom to the men, women, and children that's tuning in and listening. And shalom to Israelite foreigners scattered abroad on all four corners of the earth. The Heavenly Father name is Yahweh. His only begotten Son name is Yahweh Shai. And Lord, want this video edifying, quick, and straight to the point. I want to title this video, Edomites will be judged by a so-called black man, right? I titled this like this, and by a so-called black man, I mean Yahweh Shai. Yahweh through Yahweh Shai, right? So, well, Yahweh Shai through Yahweh. But ultimately, you know, the Edomites will be judged from the Heavenly Father through His only begotten Son, right? And it's multiple reasons of why you Edomites will be judged, but you Edomites won't make it on the chariot with us. You Edomites will be put in captivity, and you Edomites won't have no taste of victory in this go-around. And, you know, I only got a few precepts, so there's so many precepts that come to mind, but it's ultimately well known that at the end of the day, you know, that even those that are in the world know that the so-called white man is the enemy, right? The so-called white man is the one that is about to fall, right? And even Jake, like I said, Jake in the world know, you know, even those that are of Edom knows. These whistleblowers know, these people know, and it's crazy, and it's not even crazy. It's funny because those that don't like to acknowledge that are the ones that have taught this truth at a certain point of time and then fell out. And it's funny because if you want to save the Edomite, if you want to save the so-called white man, right? Which he's not even white, he's red, because his blood shows forth through his skin, you know, and his pigment is wasted away in Psalm 6, Joshua, right? If you want to save this Edomite, you're going to fall with them. And it's pretty plain and simple, right? So, I'm going to start in, let's see. Well, actually, yeah, because we could go down the track record of what Esau have done. There's multiple scriptures, 2nd Ezra. You could go to Baruch, which I'm going to grab. You could go to many, many scriptures. You could go to the things that happened during the time of Maccabees, you know, all of those things, right? So I'm going to start off in Baruch chapter 4, because Esau, Edom, don't like to admit, or now it's a law, or won't even say a law. It's it's a law saying, oh, you can't teach certain things anymore, right? In school, they don't, you know, I will believe the last, you know, wave of, I'd like to believe, you know, in last time I was in school, you know, when I was growing up, right, that they taught us what slavery was in school, you know, and now they don't even teach it. They try to cover it up, you know, especially a lot of kids. I say early 20s and older, right? Early 20s and older know what slavery is, right? When they taught it in school. You know, that awkward silence in the classroom, the Edomites looking at you, looking back at you, and you just sitting there looking at them, right? Which, it makes sense of why they was looking at you, because they know they're guilty, right? But, you know, they don't like to teach that, or they don't like to teach that at school. And how much more so in this world? They trying to take down all these statues that they put up, try to cover it, right? They're trying to cover up that. Well, oh, we put the so-called Latino and Native American Indian man, right, in slavery, right? The natives, the so-called blacks, so-called natives, and so-called Mexicans, right? You know, they like to say, oh, we never put them in slavery. What, you know, trying to do away with their history. But those things they try to clean up. The Lord ain't forget, right? So they sold us in slavery. They made a very huge profit off of us being in slavery, right? A stupid amount of money, right? And they wage wars over resources And they touched the apple of the Lord's eye, Lord willing, I get that. But they've done so many atrocities on this planet Earth. Not even just within these last 500 years, even during the times of the Romans and the Greeks, they have committed so many atrocities, destroyed the earth, destroyed the people of the earth. So we just, in the so-called Latino, Black, Latino, Native American man, supposed to forget that and act like it ain't happened. But anyways, I don't want to ramble. It's Baruch chapter 4 verse 6, right? Ye were sold to the nations, which is talking about us, the Israelites. We were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved Yahweh to wrath, ye delivered unto your enemies. Ye were delivered unto your enemies. Yeah, all 12 tribes of Israel, like I said, beginning with the so-called Negro man and on down to the so-called Mexican man, Latino Mexican man, right, have been sold to our enemies. And that's in Deuteronomy chapter 28, in the latter 34 verses, right? For ye provoked him that made you by sacrifice unto devils, right? And not unto Yahweh, right? And we have a very famous example of that in 2 Kings 17. First, with the northern kingdom got it, and the southern kingdom got it. The worst, as a northern kingdom got it first, southern kingdom got it worse, right? But ultimately, that dealt with all 12 tribes because we all got kicked out the land of Israel, right? For our disobedience. And it was written anyways, but for our disobedience, right? And the nations helped forward our affliction, right? And I'm going to grab that too. Let me see, right? Let me see where it is at. Where is that at? Oh, this is Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 8. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you touches the apple of his eye. So those that put their hands on the nation of Israel and afflict us, right? You will ultimately be punished for that. And Esau, you don't think he'll be punished. You don't think what's going to happen, or you don't think that Yahweh Shai is going to come back and subdue him and put him in slavery. And Jake's like to think the same. Oh, everybody got the same chance of salvation. No, they don't. They like to make it seem as if the so-called white man could be saved and he can't. And at the end of the day, Esau Edom will fall. And those of you that are sticking up for Esau Edom, y'all gonna fall too. It's only written that way and only makes sense that way because the enemy of the prophets are those that are teaching false doctrines, those that are sticking up for Esau Edom and fighting on Esau Edom's behalf, those that are completely trying to act as if it's okay for the so-called white man to not get his punishment. But for us, we had to go through slavery. We had to go through being displaced out of our land. We had to deal with not just slavery. It's bigger than slavery. You destroy the earth. You feed us disturbing things. You poison the food. You poison the air. You poison the ground. You got us in apartments. You got us in rent. You got us paying rent for homes that got mold and mildew in it. And then you try to say, oh, this house needed to be $500,000. So mind you, the housing economy is terrible. The car economy is terrible. So what are we talking about here? Y'all start genocides. Fuck it. Y'all start genocides. Then paint it as if, it's the other people. They started it. Y'all like to have Black Swan events and false flag events to push your agendas, right? Y'all sit up here and experiment on a so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans for medicine. And we just supposed to forget that. Outside of the slavery, the so-called, we found out the so-called, should I say the H word, right, over there in Germany in the 1940s and whatnot, was a very much staged event, right? But the so-called Latino and Black Latino Native American man is supposed to be okay with you taking over our land, oppressing us greatly. When y'all even took us over here, y'all didn't have no form of decency. When you I'm of the Southern Kingdom, but even when y'all grabbed a lot of Southern Kingdom individuals, a lot of Southern Kingdom brothers over here, brought them over here. Y'all pushed us off of boats, fed us to sharks, fed us to anything that moved. But when y'all got over here, y'all got the eating on us, literally. They have a book called The Delectable Negro. Y'all did all kinds of atrocities on that boat, but we're just supposed to forget that, though. Like it ain't happened. But the Lord's going to make sure that He's going to smite you. He's going to put you in complete utterance, just as it was in Daniel when you be turned into that beast-like estate. And y'all going to build up our kingdom, and y'all going to be destroyed, as written in Obadiah, right? So now I'm going to grab Zephaniah. This is Zephaniah chapter 1. These simple, when I first came in, these are one of the first few scriptures I do. This is Zephaniah chapter, I'll start at verse 14. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14. The great day of the Lord Yahweh is near. It is near. It hasteneth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, right? The mighty man shall cry bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble, a day of distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness, a day of gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, right? So in the time of the day of the Lord, right, you're going to have a lot of individuals not knowing what the fuck to do. You're going to have individuals starving out, slaughtering each other, killing each other. People going to be real thorough. We think, we're going to see a lot of dead bodies. We're going to see a lot of individuals' guts being spread about. We're going to see a lot of females getting judged too, because a lot of you females think y'all untouchable. Ooh, y'all females think y'all so untouchable too. Y'all men think y'all very much untouchable. You Edomites think y'all very untouchable. But the Lord is going to make it to where all those that have not just came against the prophets, but the Israelites are going to get judged too. The 2/3 are going to get judged too. A lot of you 2/3 are going to get judged. But we really in this video, we talk about you heathens, because you niggas ain't slick neither. You Edomites and you niggas, y'all, man, we can't stand y'all. But it's cool though, because at the end of the day, those that are enemies of the Lord gonna get judged. But you Edomites will experience this as well. You Edomites will be destroyed as well. And you, Psalms 83, who was in there? The tabernacle was Edom. You dukes of Edom. You so-called small hats. You little tops. Little tops. That's a new one. You little tops. Y'all look goofy with them damn hats. Y'all got little ass umbrellas on y'all heads, man. What type of shit? Then y'all claim y'all be the people, but y'all wearing hats. That's not of our customs. Looking goofy as fuck with that little old hat on that big ass head and that fat ass nose. Anyway. But anyways, but you heathens will be destroyed. You Edomites will be destroyed. But you Edomites will fall systematically first. Your land will be destroyed. And you heathens will, and by destroyed, I mean you heathens' power structure will be destroyed. You heathens won't be able to have no ruling authority in the kingdom, right? Because it says in 1 Corinthians 15, right? The Lord is going to subdue all his enemies, right? And put all his enemies under his foot. And that's talking about you heathens, right? So now I'm going to jump to Obadiah, one of the famous scriptures, if not one of the go-to scriptures, right? This is Obadiah chapter 1, and I started at verse... what verse did I have queued up? It's Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So you Edomites, after y'all serve them good, long, grueling, beautiful 1,000 years of slavery. Y'all had 12 years of slavery. We got 1,000 years of slavery. 1,000 good old years, boy. We got 1,000 good years to do whatever we scripturally pleasing unto us in a righteous aspect. Where we'll do it to you, as it says in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 10. The faith and patience of the saints, those that shall lead you into captivity shall go into captivity. Those that kill with the sword must be killed with the sword. Y'all are going to experience that pain. Y'all going to experience that traumatic experience of not having control of your life, not knowing what the fuck is going to happen, not knowing what's going to happen to your kids, knowing what's going to happen to yourself. Y'all don't know when y'all going to eat. Y'all don't know when y'all going to sleep. Y'all don't know it. We had to deal with that. Y'all had us going through the worst of the worst, but we supposed to just think it's all cool for y'all to be saved and delivered. No, the Lord got something good for y'all. And the elect don't have something good for y'all too. So I'm going to jump down a little one over that number, but beginning with the apostle elders are as well. There's Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 15. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is near and upon the heathen. Wait, I misread that. This is This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 15. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. So the day of the Lord is upon all you heathen. You Edomites, you Ishmaelites, all of that. You Moabites, you Amorites. And it's cool, y'all. It's cool. Because as it says in 2nd Ezra, that's crazy. I forgot 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. But, the beginning, let me grab that. I'm going to jump. I can't believe I forget that. Salaki, I should know that one. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So the ending of Esau's world, of course, you're gonna make it seem like it's the end of all life on earth, because that's the end of his society, his end of his era, his time to rule in his world, right? But that ain't what's gonna happen, as it's written, right? Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we're transitioning to a time period of oppression into a time period of glory and a eternal, everlasting, perpetual period, or not a period, I don't know what to call it, a time of complete dominion and rulership over our oppressors. And of course they're gonna make it seem like it's on the end of their world. These heathens have the dogs that lick the swords. Y'all have completely had y'all way with us, and now we're supposed to just sit here and be thinking, oh, this is okay. No, it's not. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. So everything that you've done to the Israelites, every atrocity, everything that y'all have done, we're going to do it in righteousness. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. Yeah, the recompense, as written in Joel 3, right? For ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Right? Actually, I'll read verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Right? And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall be kindled and they shall kindle in them, and devour them. They shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh has spoken it. And it's so simple. It's so simple. Those of the house of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the so-called red man, shall not be able to inherit or have anything in them 1,000 years. And after that, y'all just going to be put into other nations. Even you other nations are going to enjoy beating y'all. As written in Isaiah, what is that? Oh, weak is we? Yeah, weak is we. Because why? How has thou become weak as we? Yeah, because these other nations have completely caught, if not anything, they have caught up to Esau in everything, in every fashion. A lot of these nations don't need you anymore. It is about to be time to where the Lord is going to get ready to judge you heathens, beginning with the tabernacles of Edom and on down. But yeah, the heathens will not have no form of strength and rulership in the kingdom. They won't have no say-so in anything us Israelites have going on, beginning with the elect, beginning with Yahushua and the 12 and King David and on down. Those, we will be in complete sovereignty and complete peace. And you heathens will just be a footnote in history. But Lord willing, this video is edifying. Before I close, I'd like to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rekakodash. Lord willing, this video is edifying, and I'll see you next one. Shalom.